Yo, the dip is back. Yeah, the kid is back. Black Price, I'm the illest, and that's a fact. Hardest bars I ever heard in my life. Out of Fun Dip. Johnell is on here. What's going on, my boy Harris? How you doing, brother? I gotta get on here one of these days, man. Talking hoops.
Yeah, you really brought that in there?
Listen, man. Every time I hear that song, I can't help but think about you guys on that record, bro. That's my
That's one of the
favorite
coldest, one of my coldest verses ever, bro.
Definitely my favorite.
One of my
Price
coldest verses ever.
verse.
That's one of my coldest verses ever, for real.
we might gotta do
Tell
a
him,
verse.
Hold on.
tell him. It's one of my coldest ones ever.
We might.
Nah, because I know another one of Sean's is if it's cold, then I got a big jacket, man.
Swagger like us. Janelle, you an idiot, by the way, brother.
What happened?
Yo, real talk. If we did, let me pause this real quick. If we did a versus, who would win?
With who?
Between who?
I'm not. So that's the question right there, right? Between who? If we were to do a local versus, right? Let's say, so it's like Fun Dip combined with Hot Shots, which you guys eventually became, and like not like the Free Unit combined with like later Sean Lyric, like being a whole artist in and of itself. Who would win?
Yeah.
Y'all? I think it would just be fun.
It would be fun.
It would be
We
a
got
blast.
hits, bro. Hit
We got-
records that never hit the street. John,
We
tell
got a
him,
lot
bro.
of songs that never came out, but
Tell
Sean,
him
I
about
assume
John got a vault, bro. A vault
Yeah.
of songs that
I got
never
a
even
lot
hit
of
the
songs.
street.
I got a lot of songs. I mean, Sean's heard some of them, but
Yeah.
I'm sure Sean has a vault of music that never got released too.
I believe it. Bro, remember that throw the powder on him? That's another one of my
Bro.
Throw
quotes.
the powder on them.
I came with the crazy flow. I said I come with the power on. I'm killing them, put some flowers on. Oh, I was going crazy.
Did this brother just start rapping?
Yo, I'm telling you, I'm multifaceted. I've dabbled in multiple careers. Some would say that's
all
a
of us.
loser. I say
I
I
think all
just
of
tried
us,
everything.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's crazy, man. Janelle has every song but the song that I want, which is the one where Mel, Rochester, and Kendall came and dissed all of us out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
I can't find
Janelle
it.
had it. He just
Yo,
lost
but
it.
then Jimmy T came back at Rochester and bodied him.
I know. I just want the record that Mel and Chester did. It was so funny. That record
It was an
so funny.
unsolicited jab. He didn't have to do it.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Bro,
I don't
the
even know where I
story
came from.
It's forever amazing because we were going at each other, right? Fun Dip, Free Unit, and then Janelle and I used to write the school together. So we're just sitting in the car in the parking lot, passing by time until we get in, go into the building. And then, like, we hear a knock on the window. We look over. It's Mel. Mel will say, put the window down. Janelle puts the window down. Mel hands Janelle a CD. We're like, what is going on? We popped the CD in, and
He had it burnt already?
He had it burnt.
He had delivered us a disc record, bro. It was the funniest thing ever. And I was like, yo, I'll never forget those memories.
See, that's dead. Yeah, then we took it to MySpace and everything. That was a fun time.
Yeah, those were the times of my life, honestly.
For real.
Senior year of high school, we were just acting a fool.
That got us started. That's what really got us all started.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
That's why I realized, like, all right, I'm kind of good at this. I think I can do this.
Yeah, and then dudes went on to just like record mixtapes and projects and start performing on stage.
Yeah,
all that other stuff. It was definitely a good time, man.
It was a good ride, man. You can't do it forever though.
Right? Oh no.
I personally would be dead by now. Like I'd be one of those rappers that died. It was a dark time.
Why you say that?
Huh?
Why you say
I
that?
was living fast, man. Partying, we were partying hard. I was the party guy in Hot Shots.
Yeah, I could imagine if you got like famous, like
imagine if all my job was to do was perform music and then just show up places. Don't even matter what condition I'm in. Just show up.
Exactly.
Show up to the Breakfast Club. Doesn't matter that I didn't sleep last night.
True. It's true. Now the industry is definitely a different place. It's not for everybody.
Yo, if I got back in it ever, I would get back in on like the management side of everything like that. Like where I can have a family and like I don't have to be every single place that they are.
Yeah, it's also scary to just be in the spotlight as an artist now, because like so many people envy that, and it's to the point like they've taken lives like for absolutely no reason, right?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's scary to think about. All right, we're gonna get it started with the show. This was definitely good going down memory lane just now. I would honestly, I just opened up YouTube and I just felt like listening to Cameron, but that was like the instrumental. So I went to Wet Wipes, and then the dip is back. Yeah, the kid is back. It just came to me, yo. So, and I know who y'all were dissing on that song too. So that was y'all were steady dissing somebody. What was wrong?
Yo, first of all, that was another one unsolicited. They came at us.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
and it was some disrespectful stuff. They wasn't respecting our craft. They didn't respect us as artists. They gave us some talk to my manager type stuff. Listen, we ain't gonna go back there. Yeah. That's 15 years ago. I remember it like that, bro.
Like yesterday, yeah. I know where J. Cole was to talk about today. We're gonna get into some of that J. Cole. All right, let's start off the show talking about Zion Williamson, right? So Zion has had a setback in his recovery to come back to the court. And recently reports are that there's no timetable for when Zion will be back on the court for the Pelicans. Now, we've talked about Zion quite frequent on this show, but again, we can't help but to keep like hitting at the head with what's going on with Zion. Like, is this starting to be a real concern for Zion in projecting how he may develop or not develop moving forward if all these injuries continue to happen?
I'm gonna refer to history first, okay? So you got to look at the bigs and these bigs with these ankle and foot injuries, right? Like the taller guys and what it's done to their careers. Injuries in general. You look at even Dwight Howard. You look at like a lot of these bigs just with the foot injuries and stuff like that. Greg Oden, all of these guys who are really promising. None of them as talented as Zion, albeit. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up, and we were talking about this in our pre-show, like we keep bringing it up, but I'm like, let's dig a little deeper on what this is. This kid's 21 years old. He's playing, he hasn't played big minutes. They've been monitoring him. They've been babying him, really, really like taking it as soft as they could on him, and he's still dealing with these injuries. And now they're talking about there's a setback. And, everybody's making their comments about the weight, but it has to be an issue because of the way that he plays, the energy he plays with, the force that he plays with. No human body is designed to take 300-plus pounds forcing this way, forcing that way. So, I mean, he's putting a shock on his body is what I really think is happening. It's the real thing that I want to dig in on is what I was saying before, how the organization is really – They appear to what were they saying, Johnell? They were trying to fix his running style or change his style. He runs
changing the way that he walks and runs.
Yeah, they're getting really detailed about this stuff. And I was even saying in the pre-show, they need to look into his heritage or something like that to change his diet, figure out something. Whatever they need to do it because it's got to be more than just his body is just weak, because we know that's not the case. I just think that there's something that they got to reshape this guy to maximize everything that they can get out of him. That's why I think that you have to be really scared as the Pelicans, because he's a number 1 overall pick. Everything is invested in him. You're trying to build around him, but also you want to know that you're trying to build around him. If he's never on the court, how do they know that this is the guy that we can move forward with? This is the guy that in 2-3 years we're gonna put $200 million into.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. I really don't think this is it is a weight issue. Not even a weight issue. It's a body issue, right? So I don't want to sit here and say, oh, Zion is fat or he's overweight or anything like that. He's not in basketball shape is really what the issue is. So my concern is all the things that Cash said. He missed time at Duke. He missed a lot of his rookie year. He has not played this year. And even in a pandemic-shortened season, he's never played a full NBA slate. So my concern is just at some point he is going to have to play a full season. And the only highlights that we really see is him in high school, where he's dominating these little kids who are really no match for his size, his athleticism, his strength. So
You know
we've
how
seen
Duke?
he played well at Duke. I saw a highlight package of him on Twitter the other day, and
Yes.
I mean he was balling. I
The
mean,
dunks,
you know,
the
like
block,
I'm
yeah.
not going to sit here and say that he's not talented. And even in the short spurts that we've seen him on the court in the NBA, he's been fantastic. But Price has said it on numerous occasions that your biggest thing is your availability. So if he's not on the court, what's it matter how good he is for a fourth of the season?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm concerned just because for a player who came out of college with as much hype as he did, and you know, probably since LeBron, quite frankly,
Yeah.
he hasn't lived.
Like they've
he
been
has
on this kid since his sophomore year in high school.
exactly,
You know, overtime and all those,
exactly.
social medias that follow the high school programs. They all
Yep.
been just riding this kid. Him and LaMelo Ball, like those are the two guys really coming up at that time.
Yeah. And can we say that he's a bust? Not yet.
Not yet.
I feel, me personally, I feel like it's getting close if he can't get on the court. But we want to see him. We want to see what he can do. We've seen glimpses of it. We want the real thing. We want the full thing. So, you know, we just need to see him healthy.
You hinted towards it too, saying before, real quick, Sean, like you hinted towards it, saying that it's not even about his game on the floor. That is the real concern. Like everything about it. We know when he's on the floor that he's going to dominate the game. He's just pure force. But it's like that's when, as an organization, you have to be really, really concerned. As fans, you got to be really concerned when the only thing you're worried about is getting him on the floor so that you can see it.
So, quick technical question for you guys based on what I'm hearing and how we might categorize Zion in a couple of years if he doesn't get this injury stuff corrected. Johnell said we might be talking about a bust here in a couple of years if he doesn't get it together. So, in my opinion, right, when I look at bust, I'm looking at guys who came into the league, whatever league, and flopped. Not necessarily injured, but they just sucked. Like Ryan Leaf sucked when he got drafted to the NFL.
Right.
Greg Oden, even though he didn't really get to play much, he wasn't you know, wowing anybody.
Anthony Bennett.
Zion has wowed us. So would he categorize as a bust, or would it be like one of those Grant Hill things? Even though Grant Hill had a career, he actually showed us what he could do, which is what I said. I was like, it's like a lesser Grant Hill where we know the talent is all worldly, but we just can never get to see it for a stretch of time. So would he still be categorized as a bust, or just, you know, a guy?
I don't know if he'll categorize as a bust, but there are young guys that are his age that are going to potentially pass him if he keeps missing it. Like Ja. None of us saw Ja Morant coming. Like, we knew that he was really talented. We knew that he could play. We knew he had some explosive plays. None of us knew that what his game was going to, like, turn into what he's turned Memphis into, translated to winning, all that stuff like that. You look at Luka, you look at Trae Young, these guys are all under 23 years old, 24 years old. So, you know, around Zion's age. So you got to look at that. Even, what's his name? Anthony Edwards up there in Minnesota. Like, this kid's having a year. He's playing well.
He is a problem, yo.
Yeah, these young rookies that are coming. Like, every year, there's going to be kids that are coming that, you know, if Zion doesn't get on the floor and his game starts to drop a little bit, we're going to forget about his highlight reel. Nobody's going to care about his highlight reel from Duke and from Spartanburg. They're going to, you know, be like, what has he done for me lately? That's how we always looked at it.
Yeah. Sean, I get what you're getting at, but to me, a bust is somebody who just didn't live up to potential. So, yes, and again, I think none of us are hoping that Zion is not successful. Like, we all want him to be great in the league, right? But if this really becomes a thing and he can't stay on the court and he ends up having, you know, a 5-6 year career where, you know, he averaged, you know, I don't know, half the game, 60% of the games each year, to me, that's a bust because there was so much hype around who he is and who he could be and potentially who he would be in the league. And again, not assuming, but if this were to happen, I think, for me anyway, I would have to categorize him as a bust because like you said, Grant Hill had a career.
Yeah.
Grant Hill was an
He still
all-star.
played almost 20 years. Yeah.
Grant Hill played against Jordan at the highest level, like that during the 90s. Like Grant Hill, I get where you're going, but it's not a great example, at least not right now. So I just want to see Zion on the court. I want to see him healthy. I want to see him dominate in the league. But right now, I'm skeptical, and I've been skeptical on him, you know, just because of his body type and the way that he plays. His body type isn't conducive to the grind of an NBA season.
He needs to
and
put in like
multiple
70
seasons.
games. Yeah. I need a year where he's 65 plus games. You know, not all these little things like that, these little knickknacks and stuff, or even the serious injuries. I understand he's got the foot injury. It's hard to get the cardio, but like I said, I want to know, is this something that speaks to his work ethic off the court or away from the team? Or is this just like I'm just fitting, you know, trying to get right from injury, and it's hard for him to cut weight, like his body type, his stuff like that. You know, It takes longer for. That's what I want to know. Is this like scientific, or is this a work ethic thing? Because like I said before the show to y'all, the style of play, the way his motor runs on the court, how much energy he has, it doesn't suggest that he's a lazy person or a lazy player. But when you see him, you think otherwise.
Yeah. And the thing with Zion is any knick-knack, non-serious injury is a serious injury because the track record shows us it can go from, you know, he actually got a bad foot, you know, in September, and now it's December, mid-December, you still haven't gotten on the court because there's a set. So anytime, you know, we're talking about the Zion package because of the, you know, the body, the way that he's built, right? He's going to take a lot of wear and tear, and he having to land after dunking as hard as he does on that weight, that entire weight. Not saying he's fat, but he's just a big brother. He's gonna always take a
both
toll,
ways.
Either your knees or your feet.
I feel like both ways it's putting a lot of hurt on his ankles and knees, jumping and coming down.
Yeah. I'll make just one comparison. If he played the way Zebo played, I think he'd be in much better shape.
Like, Zebo played forever and he never got off the ground.
Yeah, he
couldn't even jump over 2 quarters.
Yeah, he played beneath the rim and he dominated, but that's not Zion's game.
Zion would not be successful playing like that. That's not
exactly. I mean, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like the way that his body's built, he's more like a Zebo, but you know, he's playing like Vince
Blake
Carter,
Griffin.
like Blake Griffin, exactly.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The Indiana Pacers are again ready for a fire sale. Shams Charania reports saying that their big three, in essence, Miles Turner, Sabonis, and Karis LeVert, are all on the trading block. Now, my question for you guys is this: we know all three of these guys are on the trading block, but which of these guys would you say is a guy that you could probably pull here from the Pacers, make them that difference maker that can take a team from we're kind of contending to, all right, we got serious aspirations to win a championship?
So I think LeVert and Sabonis are pieces that you add if you want to win in a couple years. To me, Miles Turner is the player that if you get him on your team and you got a couple other talented players, that stretch five is hard to find. Like there's Jokic, there's Embiid.
And he's a great defensive player, too.
And he's a great defensive player. That's the thing. He's a rim protector. Plus, he can pull the other guy's center out there and open up the lane for you. So I don't know who has what to go get him, but I really, really, really think Miles Turner is the one that pushes you over there. Listen, I know what we have. I know what I want. I would love it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And I don't want to even talk Knicks trade talk. I don't want to do it. But I would love to have him. Let's just say that. But Miles Turner, to me, is the guy I think going to any team, not just the Knicks, any team, he immediately changes them defensively. And again, offensively, too, just from his versatility, all the things he's able to do. He could take you off the dribble, face up, back you down, and shoot the three really well. So I think Miles Turner of the three is the one who can help you the most, but all three players can help you. LeVert's a rising star. You know, he's got good scoring ability, needs to improve defensively. Same with Sabonis, but Sabonis is, you know, younger. So I think all of them will help.
Yeah, no, Cash, I do agree with you on Evan Turner. I mean, Karis LeVert, we saw what he did that year in the playoffs for Brooklyn, almost single-handedly. ended up getting hurt, getting traded, and we haven't really heard from him. But that might be in part because he's in Indiana and nobody really cares.
Down there. He's definitely doing
he's still balling, you know. But I agree with you. I think all three of them would be like legitimate pieces to a good team. And if it were my pick, I would probably go in the opposite direction. I think I'd want to go with Sabonis just because I think the versatility the other way, in terms of his scoring. I like the fact that I like the way that he's able to stretch the floor. But you can't go wrong with any of them. The only thing that sucks is that Indiana has three really good players, and they feel like they have to get rid of them. Which doesn't bode well for
whoever's
Indiana,
going
like for them being good anytime soon if they have this fire sale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
the bonus game out too.
Best fit for Miles Turner. I think the Lakers, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Laker fan. I'm saying that because Anthony Davis, as we know, does not want to play the five. Like he brought DeAndre freaking Jordan to LA bad because he didn't want to play the five. If the Lakers want to play big and not do like every other NBA team by having a five that is more athletic than anybody else on the floor, that can do all the things on both sides of the floor, which AD should be able to do better than any five in the league. You go get Miles Turner at the five. Now AD can not have to bang down low. And Miles Turner stretches the floor. So he has room to work with down low, which is what was my biggest complaint with AD not playing a five last year. You got Andre Drummond, who is shooting the ball over the backboard. You can't have that if you're trying to play the four AD. Get a guy who can legitimately be a threat outside, opens up lanes for you, and he's going to get you more rebounds. So I think Miles Turner to the Lakers make a ton of sense. But what do you guys think? If you guys
He's another one, Miles Turner, who gets like lost in, like Johnell said, that 100%. Indiana, like playing in Indiana. He's been there his whole career, really. And I mean, people don't understand how good he is. Like, again, I'm a Knicks fan. They play the Knicks 4 times a year. So he has tortured me for all these years. Just this year, he hit like 7 threes on the Knicks the last time they played. So, I mean, he's a real talented. They play on him tonight. So he's a real talented player. Yeah. He's a real talented player. I think that he makes a difference on any team, like a big playoff run type of difference. Just what he offers defensively.
We got a quick, not intermission, but an intermission question. We want to quiz you guys, not quiz you guys. We want your prediction on this. And if you get this right, we're going to send y'all something from the Heat Check family. So the question is this. Steph Curry is 16 3-pointers away from passing Ray Allen on the all-time 3-points record. 16. He needs 16, 1-6. How many games will it take Steph to break this? We'll give you guys about 30 seconds or so to just drop it in the chat, and I will screenshot all the answers that I get, so that way if someone does get it correct, we're able to follow up with them to get them right.
It's going to be one game. He hitting them all tonight.
He's not. You're crazy.
He's going to be pulling from the parking lot. He gonna be shooting from the aisleway up in the mezzanine up top. Yep. He'll be shooting from half court.
I say 3 games. I say 3 games. I say 3 only because
how many did Clay make in that one where he had like 60 points or whatever?
14.
14. Oh,
14.
This could be a double whammy.
Yes, and that's why Steph is gonna break it tonight.
That's why it's.
You guys are serious? You serious?
16 threes today.
Who they got tonight?
Steph is a showman. They're playing so. They play Portland. Portland is giving up the highest. They're giving up the highest 3-point percentage in the league at almost 40%. So for Steph to go, and he's already talked about it. For Steph to go out there and not only break the all-time 3-point record, but be able to break the single game record. Like I don't think it's something that he's going into the game like I have to do this.
I have to, but
if I'm gonna bet on anybody making 4 3-pointers a quarter, it's Steph Curry.
It's Steph Curry.
Why you broke it down like that? 4 a quarter makes it sound mad reasonable.
It's so much more reasonable.
4 a quarter sounds mad reasonable.
It's like, because they're like, 16 threes in a game? No way. But then you're like, Steph Curry makes 4 threes in a quarter per quarter? Yeah, that
I
sounds
still
like
don't think
nothing.
he does it. I think 3 games because I think they're going to be keying in on him. No one's going to have their
It doesn't
want that
matter if
broken
the
on them.
Portland keys in on. They're a horrible defensive team, especially against the 3.
We'll
He
see.
might not take 2s tonight. He shouldn't. Honestly, Steve Kerr, take him off the point, put him at 2, run him off match screens, and let's get this thing tonight.
It won't happen, but if it does, I'll be sure to give you a props on that. You go
Respect.
All right. I'm tired of talking about this, but we have to talk about this because it's in the news again. Damian Lillard, man. I don't know what's going on. What up, Sandell? I don't know what's going on in Portland. He has come out today knocking the rumors that there's tension between him and Chauncey Billups in Portland, and that he's kind of like trying to play his way out of Portland. For anyone who doesn't know, he's been out with an abdominal strain. He is supposed to be, Chris Haynes said he's going to take a cortisone shot on Sunday and try to give it a shot. But Woj put out a report yesterday that kind of like opened Twitter's eyes some more. And it's that Dame is looking for an extension, a 2-year extension, that would pay him in the 50 millions in his mid-30s, right?
Yeah,
and this guy's having
36 at the end of that if they extended him.
He's having the worst season of his career. He's been hurt, and he's cracked that 30 mark in age, and he's only getting older. And he wants to be paid $56 million or so in his mid-30s. And people are saying Dame know that ain't realistic, so he's almost trying to find his way out of Portland by asking for these crazy demands. Oh, now we got to trade this guy. What make you of all this Dame stuff, man?
So I'm annoyed just because Dame had an opportunity to leave. Like Dame's whole thing was, I'm loyal. I want to win here, and even if I don't win here, I'm loyal. And it's like, all right, like I can respect that, but then don't come back and be like, oh, I don't like the coach. I don't like the culture. We're not win. Like, you knew what it was up there.
You knew wasn't gonna be nothing going on up there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like Dame is he's very vocal on social media. So he's quick to clap back at fans and analysts and insiders and the whole 9. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And I don't think these people are just making things up. So somewhere, even if it's not necessarily coming from Dame, or like Dame isn't reporting this stuff, there's definitely some tension that is leaking outside of the building between Dame and the organization. So it's a tired story just because Dame had his opportunities and passed on them. So it's like nobody feels bad for you, bro.
I just feel like these things don't just come out. Like, yes, there are people in the media who, will kind of fish stories out there like that and just to see if they can get a response or to try and actually create a story. And then there are guys who are just, Benedict Arnolds within the organization who want to talk to the media, even though they're loosely close to it. They're like the assistant trainer. And they heard Dame was talking to somebody that, you know what I mean? And then they want to tell a reporter about it because that reporter couldn't get to somebody who actually matters, and who would know about the situation. So these stories come out of all over, but like their details are always just way too specific about Dame. Like they're way too specific. Like he's got this specific set of teams, and now all of a sudden he desires to play with Ben Simmons. And it's like now we're talking about specific players, specific places, and then every time it comes up, he's like, "Yo, I did not say that," that, like or even when it's like he's growing uncomfortable, like and then he's like, "Oh, I'm not uncomfortable." Exactly like you said, John. Like he's had chances to just get out of it, and we know you're uncomfortable, bro. You look uncomfortable, so it's like your game, everything is suffering from it. So he's got to do something. And I understand the loyalty. Like, yo, no one, I don't know what they'd be like out there in Oakland, but no one else in the world is going to be mad at you for wanting to leave that situation.
Nope.
People have left better situations. Or you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Kevin Durant walked away from Golden State for some personal stuff. And that was the best situation ever. So no one's going to, like, come down to you, it's not going to affect your legacy to leave. I don't know what his fear is with it. But what will affect his legacy is, I mean, I seen J. Cole say it in the comment. He has not accomplished anything. I mean, like, all-star games are cool. We those are great individual accomplishments, but team accomplishments, he has not been a part of a team that has accomplished anything except for knocking a couple teams out of the first round and the second round of buzzer beaters. That's it. And they made it to the conference finals and died out that year. That was their best year to go to the finals. And they couldn't make it. A lot because of how his play dropped off so much.
Yeah, again, I don't take Dame to be a liar. We've all talked about how Dame has always been so loyal. He seems to be an honest guy, and I believe Dame when he says what he says. But like you guys are saying, this is not made-up reports. Like Adrian Wojnarowski didn't wake up and made up a report about Dame Lillard out of nowhere, right? And this is not an isolated report or incident. Like we've talked about this since the season had started. Like Chris Haynes put out the story between him sitting out with Brown and AD, which was very random, right? Like they already got Russell Westbrook. Why are we hearing about this now? And then other reports came out about, and now like he wants Ben Simmons, right? He wants to play with Ben Simmons. So like even to that point, like I was in a space last night with some Blazers fans and media people, and they're talking about Dame. Like, if you want out, we understand.
They get it.
We have not built a championship team. And these are like media and fans who are like diehards. They're like,
they understand it.
Nobody would scold you. You would not be treated like KD was when he left OKC. We get it. Yeah. I think, though, where this could be messy was Dame could go from maybe the most praised person for asking out to, this is getting annoying, bro. Like, just ask out already. Like, go.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. It's lingering now. It's lingering now.
It's becoming petty. It's becoming like, it's like that person that wants to break up with the girl, but they keep telling the girl's friend, your friend is tripping, bro. Like just tell the girl you're not feeling her no more, and you move on. But this whole back and forth report sneaking out, that's annoying. So I feel like James got to decide what he want to do and do it.
Yeah, there's a contingency of Portland fans I've seen on Twitter even saying, like, suggesting they do trade him now. Yeah. While the value is as high as
trade him
because it's time to start the rebuild. Like, this team is not going to do it. And I don't think there's anything out there short of LeBron James that's going to turn them around, or Kevin Durant. Or
so I shouldn't ask about Ben Simmons and what Dame wants. Does Ben Simmons get them closer than CJ?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay. No, you can desire to play with Ben Simmons all you want. He will never be enough of a player. If Ben Simmons reaches his pinnacle, he would not be enough to take this current Portland Trailblazers team.
Agreed.
And that's if Philly was to just hand them Ben Simmons, this currently team,
and not have to give
him back
McCollum or anybody.
No, I'm saying for CJ. So it would be there's no way.
CJ's having one of the best years of his career. Best year of his career, offensively.
Right. Agree.
So you lose that, so you're not going to have three studs anymore. Their young guys have not been great. It's just not. He's got to get out.
It's a mess in Portland. They fired their GM after a long investigation with some very disturbing things going on.
Yeah, they fired their GM, right? Yeah, that's
right.
That's another thing. That's a whole other layer to this, right? So now you have this huge franchise-changing move that you have to make, or you could potentially make. Who are you going to put in charge to do that? Like, you're not going to have some interim GM trade your franchise player for the trade that's going to, like, set you up for the next 10 years. Like, I don't know what they do. I seriously don't know. It is chaos over there.
Chauncey Billups is literally, and I like Chauncey, he's literally dogging the players in the press conference. He said, I've never seen a team where the starters could do nothing, and the bench has to be the ones that make the starters play harder. He said it's usually the other way. The starters get the bench going, not the other way around. And I'm like, Chauncey, you're saying this to reporters after a game. Like, as a rookie coach, that took a lot of guts, bro. You tripping a little bit.
You don't care.
Right. Apparently not. Chauncey just –
because he know they about to blow that thing up.
All right. Really quickly, this was not in our notes, but we got to talk about this or else Jacob will never watch us again. The Chicago Bulls, man. I mean, I know J. Cole keeps taking shots saying that they're not going to be sixth. That, just to be clear, J. Cole, I said I had the Bulls projected at 6. Not Johnell, not Cash. I think they actually had them finishing higher. And the reason that I had the Bulls projected to finish 6th is because it's a lot of new pieces. Yes, there's talent. And finishing 6th also doesn't make you a bad team. That's a very good team, especially in a tough Eastern Conference.
Absolutely.
But did we foresee the Bucks being this bad early on? Did we foresee Kyrie Irving not playing at all this year? Did we foresee the Knicks going from a top 4 team to looking like they're just like trying to find their way and get it
They look
together?
like a brand new team.
There's a lot of things right now that are playing into the fact that Chicago is sitting at number 2 right now, if I'm not mistaken. They are a good team. They may very well finish 2. But I think in a complete season with no injuries or any of that, it's not a crazy take for me to say the Bulls would finish 6th. But what do you guys think about the Bulls this year? Because J. Cole really wants us to address it. And Michael
I saw firsthand they are a problem. We played them 3 times, the Knicks. They beat us twice. We beat them once. DeMar DeRozan was the steal of the 2021 free agency. And honestly, all of us, none of us knew it. Like, we didn't know that I didn't think that this was going to be like this. I knew he had the mid-range. I knew he had game. Yo, he's playing at a level right now, especially the last few weeks he's unstoppable. He's averaging 26 so far this year. He's their guy that they go to close. They still got Zach LaVine averaging he's averaging another 26 of his own. I'm looking here, and he's another dynamic scorer. So they got 2 good swings, and then Lonzo Ball. I talk about this with James Cole all the time, all the time, and about how bad I wanted him. I said I wish the Knicks went harder after him. Like, I would have brought a Brinks truck because he's young and he's improving every single year. The numbers don't lie. He's averaging 12 points, 5 assists, and another 5 rebounds. Like, he does everything good.
And he does more than the numbers implicate for that.
Yeah,
he runs defensively.
Another 2 steals he's averaging. He averaged another block a game. Like, I'm looking at all his stats. There's no zeros anywhere. Like, everything he has, he's got a number in every column and a low one in turnovers. So, he has really made a huge difference for them. He's an unselfish player. He gets it out on the break for those guys who benefit from playing fast. DeRozan and Zach LaVine. And Caruso, I know you mad. Because, listen, say what you want. You can do the KCP trade and Kuzma and all them and Montrezl for Russell Westbrook, fair. But Taylor Horton-Tucker or whatever, you could have sent him walking. Give me Caruso all day, yo. The dude, because he does all the stuff that those other guys won't do, that dirty work, yo. Because he knows he won't play if he doesn't.
His IQ is next level too. He's one of the smartest players in the game. I said this for years. The dude he understands the game so well.
Great instinct.
He's never trying to do things that he's not good at.
Yeah,
he knows what he's good at, and he knows where he's solid.
And he's really athletic and gifted too. He can jump, he can run. He's got instinctively defense is where it is. Yo, he got his hands in every passing lane. Like, smart, bro. You don't see players play defense like that in the NBA, and that's why he's so valuable. So they got it all going, man. The Bulls got it on both sides of the ball. I think they hang on. I don't think that they win this division. I think Milwaukee, as they get healthier, you know what I'm saying? Milwaukee takes that division and kind of pulls away a little bit and gets to 1 or 2. But I do, like I said, I had Chicago 4 or 5. I think that's where they fall at. I don't know if they get a whole playoff game, but we'll see. 4 or 5. That's where they're gonna be at.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see them. I don't think they're not gonna win the East. I could definitely see them 3, 4. I don't think they drop as far as 6. I know Sean has his reasons for that, but I think I agree. They're probably in that 3 to 5 range, which, again, doesn't make them a bad team. They're legit. And assuming they stay healthy, that chemistry is only going to grow. You gotta understand that this team has only been together for 30 games or whatever the case is. So they're going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to gel. They're gonna be a team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs.
Oh, I have one more thing that I forgot to say, and it's quick. It is a player that I forgot to mention who I think is the true linchpin to their success that they got last year. Nick Vucevic, yo.
Oh yeah.
This guy is like he's unbelievable. Yeah. He can shoot it. He's offensively, he is so unstoppable. It's crazy, yo. He's got everything in the big man bag.
He does. He does.
His tool bag is swanging. Like
I said this, I think maybe last year. He's the most underrated player. Him and Johnell are like the most underrated players on.
Seriously,
the guy puts up great numbers. He's made the All-Star team. People just don't talk about it. He's been in Orlando, and now he's in Chicago in the shadows of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
That's what I'm saying.
But he doesn't
so nobody
care.
mentions
He's gonna go out there and give you buckets and play good defense. So
like I listed all those other guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And they have Vucevic.
All right, so here you go, Jacob. We did not neglect your Bulls. And to that, I say I'm going to end the show with a segment today that I decided last night I needed to address this, and I did not want to address it on Twitter because I wanted to address it here. And I will address it on Twitter afterwards when we post the clip. This is my Are You Serious Grade A Clown segment.
Oh, man.
Kanter Freedom. You have been dogging LeBron James on CNN, on Twitter, on Instagram, on your shoes. You've done it all.
Fox News.
Right?
You went on Fox News with it.
You went on Fox News. You've been everywhere dogging LeBron James about this and that, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I get it. You feel this way. You want to be, this person that advocates for others. Great. But the energy is not the same when you run into the LeBron James on the basketball court.
Right.
And this is what I'm talking about. Last night in the Lakers-Celtics game, LeBron is chomping at the bit, talking smack, or maybe just having a good time with Grant Williams, who was on the bench for the Celtics, sitting right next to you-know-who, Enes Kanter. And LeBron is literally engaging with Grant, who sits next to Enes. Enes is over there whispering and giggling in Grant Williams' ears as LeBron is looking right at him. Like, so all of that stuff he's been talking on Twitter, on the news outlets, he couldn't say nothing directly to LeBron, but he was giggling like he had a little crush on LeBron when he seen him last night at Staples Center or Crypto.com Center. Enes Kanter, that is clown behavior, bro.
Big clown.
That is the epitome of not keeping the same energy. You can't have
That's exactly what they mean.
Feelings about someone, and when
by
you
definition,
see them, he was literally keying. That's whack, bro. That's whack.
Bro,
that's so lame.
But it even goes back to their first matchup after all this came out, and LeBron told us he walked right past them in the hallway.
Didn't say
and
a word.
It's like he talks a lot, talks a big game, but if he was really about action and wanted change, that's a conversation. Hey, Bron, like, let's hash this out. Let's end it. Like, let's do something. Like, do something to better. And no, he's all talk. Honestly, and like, I hate to say this for somebody who legit does care about activism and has been an advocate and activist for a lot of different things. But this feels like it's more about him than it is about the cause. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he started this thing with LeBron, but when LeBron is there to address it or game plan or whatever, he's nowhere to be found. So it feels very personal, which rubs me the wrong way, quite frankly.
He made $20 million off the Knicks. He got money to go and fight this way on his own somewhere else. He does not have to drag LeBron James and Jeremy Lin and all these people through the mud. He's just listing names so that people to draw attention to his thing. And I think it's a poor taste to go that route about trying to bring attention to whatever thing, whatever activism that you're trying to draw attention to. And I also, exactly, John, I think it's a selfish thing too. This is it's made this more about him. I forget what he was even talking about in the beginning. I truly don't even remember. It was about the shoes or something like that, like the Nike and stuff like that. He's attacking the wrong people. I said this from the beginning. If you really want to attack the senators who allow people, these companies to take their work over there and make these shoes like that, attack Nike themselves. LeBron just cutting a check. Don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Don't worry about it. LeBron don't got no control over that.
Yeah, and again, he's just not keeping the energy. Like, if you wanna be that guy that goes at LeBron, great. Look, Deshaun Stevenson, right? He was vocal about LeBron, and when they were on the court, he was trying to get at LeBron's neck when he was on the Washington Wizards and they had that feud. you're not doing that, Cantor. You're just talking, and when you see LeBron in person, you're giggling with him. What are you doing? And like, I can't respect that, man. If you're gonna keep that energy about how strong you feel about someone or against someone, then when you see that person, it's got to be that same energy. It can't be, oh, now I'm just gonna whisper in this guy's ear. And LeBron's grilling him like, "Are you gonna say something to me? Because you've been talking." And
he's welcomed the dialogue too. That's the thing. LeBron has welcomed the dialogue. By now, we should have seen a handshake and like cliche, dap up. Yeah, we working with my man pick by now. It ain't up there. He's a clown. He whack. We not talking about this ever again.
Yeah, he's just buying Jordans and then coloring on them like he's clown behavior. So Enes Kanter, you're a grade A clown.
Straight up.
We got to get that stuff together. All right. With that said, brothers and sisters, I appreciate y'all tapping in. This was yours truly, Cash Walken, Johnell Pennell, Sean Alcide. Listen, we know a lot of things are going on in the world, and we just want to provide you guys a space every Wednesday or whenever we get a chance to do this to talk hoops. So again, I know you guys appreciate it, but most importantly, I know what I know. Hold
on, real quick. Let Johnell plug the toy drive.
Yeah, go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Oh shoot, I appreciate that, Cash. Yeah. So this is my 8th year toy drive. All the toys go to Connecticut Children's up in Hartford, Connecticut. And for those who don't know, all the toys that they collect during the year, they actually have to spread them out throughout the course of the year. So this is a big time for all the kids who are in the hospital, can't be home with their families, just to put a smile on their face. So on the 18th of December, 10 to 4, I'll be at the Danbury Powell Building collecting toys. Pippa's in Danbury, they have a box set up. You can donate toys there as well. And if anybody wants to do like Venmo or Cash App or whatever, I'll definitely take the money. I'll send you a receipt for what I pick up for the kids. And it's all love. So if you have the means, great. Feel free. If you don't, spread the word. Again, it's all about the kids at this point. So appreciate it.
Facto. All right, now we out of here.
Holla at your heat check.